I wasted $105 on Facebook ads so that you don't have to. I'm embarrassed to admit this, but I don't sell on Ingram very well. And it's not the place I make the most money. When I was republishing this book, I realized very quickly that I stand to make a lot more money in royalties if I just publish directly through Amazon. And so that's where most of my sales come from. Despite that, I still want to be discoverable for libraries and bookstores, which is supposed to be Ingram's strong suit. And yet I discovered when I was looking through all of their promotion services that when people search my book in their catalog, my version of the book comes up third in the listing. My old publisher's listings come up first and second. And if you were a bookstore looking to stock my book and you clicked on those, they wouldn't be active. So I asked Ingram to please remove those or put them lower in the list so that my live listing comes up first. And they were like, we can't do that. And they were very unhelpful. They gave me the runaround just so that they could tell me over and over again that there's nothing they can do to help. Like, what do you mean? It's your catalog. That book did make a lot of sales with that publisher though, so it does make sense why those listings would come up higher. So in theory, I need to make more sales on Ingram so that it comes up higher, right? So I start looking at their promote my book services with the hope that I make sales, but also become more discoverable in their catalog. The three that I was looking at was title discovery packages for $350, iPage listing for $150, and Ingram ID for $105. I've never really spent that kind of money advertising my book. I mostly just get on social media and say, hey, like, can you buy my book? And that's kind of how I make sales. But I want that boost in the catalog, so I tried out Ingram ID. Before I bought this service, I did Google to see if there were reviews, to see if this was worth it. And there's really not any information out there, so I plan to be the information. Ingram ID says promote your book to millions of verified readers looking for their next book on Facebook, Google, and more. It's $105 per ISBN. Now, while my book is on Ingram Spark, this ad campaign goes through Ingram Content Group, which I think, from what I can tell, is like the big Ingram service that actually services like traditionally published people. And so it does send my ad over to that space so that I'm functioning on that website. That seems like it would be very promising. I decided to go with the Facebook ads because I don't do things on Facebook ever. And because I don't have my page really functioning as a book page, I decided to set this ad up through their page. That page is called Bookfinity and Beyond. Now, since I'm not an ad expert because I don't do ads and I assume that they are experts, I left most of the settings at their default suggested settings. I did have to put in my book's information, and I'm pretty good at marketing, so I wouldn't say that it was terrible marketing that caused this to not be a good service. But here is the Facebook ad. It says that it was at a budget of $15 per day, and that seems pretty high. It only ran from September 9th to the 15th because they only really let me do like a week. Otherwise, it was going to cost me more. It got 35 clicks, okay? So it says it got 6,000 impressions, 197 clicks, and I guess 35 of them were targeted, at a cost of 53 cents per day and a click-through rate of 3%. There is like the graphic that I made, and even though they asked me for so much text, it was all basically hidden. Like, they asked for so many characters, and it all, if you're looking at this, is basically hidden. And I gotta tell you, I don't click on ads for anything. So like, really, they should just be focusing on this part, and they should have told me that because I just would have focused on this part. My audience was for YA because it's a YA book. And this is all the information that I'm given. I'm not given any more information than this on how it did. I don't know if there is more information. And it's not one of those things where, like, if you don't get the clicks, you're charged less. No, they charge you the whole 105. How many sales did I get from this? None. My click-through link was my universal book link. So I didn't get any sales through Ingram. or any other space. Like I checked like Draft to Digital, I checked Amazon, and I didn't do a lot of social media book promotion because I wanted to see how this ad specifically did. No sales. I haven't had a week of no sales in a long time. So if you were thinking, hey, I finally collected some money and I would really like to invest it back into my book, this is not the place to do it. Don't do this one. Again, that was the Ingram ID. I did invest in something else, so if this video does well, I might talk about something else I invested in and how I did in that when I find out how I did in that, because it hasn't like happened yet, but I did pay. I'm not used to paying. Buyers beware.